terminating a fiber optic cable with an SC connector. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be preparing our workstation by putting on our fiber optic disposal disc, as well as putting the applicator tip onto our adhesive. After putting on the applicator tip, do not forget to put the white cap on top. We will now be tying a knot into one end of our cable. Now you want to tie it as close to the end as possible because we'll be cutting this off at the end. Now we're going to be putting on our boot as well as the crimp ring. Now for both, you're going to be wanting to put on the small end facing in. We'll now be using our buffer tube strippers to strip off between 1.5 and 2 inches of cable jacket from our orange patch cord. After stripping our orange patch cord, we're going to want to separate the fiber optic cable from the aramid. After that, we're going to be trimming our aramid down to 5 millimeters and stripping back our cable jacket until there's 13 millimeters of cable jacket exposed. As you can see, to strip the cable jacket, I'm using the middle hole in the buffer tube strippers. After stripping it, you're going to want to use the bottom hole to take off any buffer from your exposed fiber. We will then be using an alcohol wipe to clean off any residue from the buffer that we just stripped off. We will now be test fitting our exposed fiber into our SC connector. While doing this, you're looking to make sure that the fiber goes through the connector with little to no resistance and making sure that it comes all the way out the other end. Next, we're going to be putting between 4 and 5 drops of adhesive into our connector. You're going to want to put the adhesive into both the inner hole as well as the outside hole. You're going to want to make sure that you put the white cap back onto your adhesive after you're done. We will then be putting on the primer onto our fiber optic patch cord. While doing this, you're going to want to put it onto both the cable jacket as well as the exposed fiber. We will now be repeating what we did when we test fit our cable by putting the fiber into the inside hole and getting it to go through all the way out the other end. We will now be bringing up the crimp ring, and while crimping it, you're going to see on your crimper that there are multiple different sizes. For the large crimp, we're going to be using 0.190, which is the second one down, and for the bottom crimp, or the smaller crimp, we're going to be using 0.137. Now you will want to be careful while you're crimping, because you will still have your fiber exposed through the tip of the connector. Now after crimping the connector, you're going to want to cleave the fiber from the tip of your connector. As you can see, what I did is I slightly score the exposed fiber and then just pull it right off. We're now going to be air polishing using our red polishing film. We're going to be doing 20 to 25 figure eights as shown. After that, we're going to want to take our alcohol pad and we're going to be cleaning off the surface of our termination tray to make sure there are no fiber scraps or residue on the tray. We will now be using our red polishing film on the black pad, and using our polishing puck, we are going to insert our connector and do 25 to 30 figure eights. After that, we're going to be removing the red polishing film and putting our white polishing film onto the white pad, and then again repeating the process of 25 to 30 figure eights. We will then be using the pink polishing film on the white pad, again doing 25 to 30 figure eights. Finally, we'll be putting the blue polishing film on the white pad and again doing 25 to 30 figure eights. Now after completing the polishing, we're going to be cleaning off the tip of our connector using our alcohol wipe. After cleaning the tip of our connector, we're going to be putting on the outer collar. Now you're going to see that there's a side that is more open than the other, and that side is the bottom. You'll see on the top that it has a rounded off portion. You're going to want to line that up with the rounded off portion on the connector. When putting it on, you're going to be pushing from the boot as well as from the tip of the outer collar. Once it snaps into place, you'll know it's good. After that, you're going to want to put on the dust cover, and you have finished terminating your SC connector. Now before terminating the other end, do not forget to cut off the part of the cable which we tied in a knot.